Hi, Danielle Silver here. I'm in the garden of Shamus Joy. It's a beautiful garden. It's overlooking, what's that over there?
Vale of Avalon.
Vale of Avalon. It's absolutely beautiful. And basically, earlier we've interviewed a lady called Carol, which we called the Dragon Lady. But behind the scenes is the person who invented the dragons. And he is the man himself. He's actually, he come up with the idea of the dragons, and he's got his little things to show you how he makes the dragons and everything like that. But you've been in Glastonbury quite a while, haven't you, Shamus?
Yes, I've been here since 1987.
That's a long time, isn't it? 30 odd years. And he's been here a long time, and he's going to show us, are you going to show us how some of your dragons in process of making at the moment?
Well, it's a very complex process because I've been developing a dragon. I've made 5 dragons for commissions for people.
Right.
And each one has been a piece of art, really.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've come around to wanting to make a standard model
Right.
on which I can base a whole series of dragons.
Yeah. And you're in the
So
process
I've
of
been
doing
working on a dynamic skeleton.
that. Okay.
And then I will make the skins as a dressmaking pattern.
Oh,
And
sounds good.
So each skin will be an individual artwork,
Right.
but the inner engineering will be standardised. But to make something as orderly as that requires a great deal of chaos. So
I'm used to chaos.
over there
Yeah.
is my research that I did last year,
Yeah. Okay.
where I made dragon after dragon, but each time I got so far I became dissatisfied
Yeah.
and started again.
Okay. And they are absolutely beautiful, the dragons you've made. I mean,
Yes.
they're in the, actually at the moment, they're in the Wish You Were Here cafe in the window. You can see them on a daily basis in Glastonbury. They're absolutely beautiful. And they've got like crystals inside their mouth. The mouth opens and closes, isn't it? And they're absolutely they're really beautiful. And they are really something, they're stunning actually.
But I wanted to take them further in the direction of being realistic creatures. So the dragon I'm working on at the moment, it's called Graculus. Graculus. The name came from Noggin the Nog, it's a matter of interest,
Okay.
and which I used to love. And Graculus will have what the previous dragons didn't really have, which is a proper walking action.
Oh, wonderful.
So they should be able to walk.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
Furthermore, in the right type of conditions, it's just possible that it may fly. I'm certainly trying to make it so that it can fly.
Yeah. That'd be amazing.
It's not easy to make wings that are strong enough,
Yeah.
but light enough, but fortunately with modern materials,
Yeah.
it is doable.
Yeah.
And I believe that I have cracked the key problems that were preventing me actually doing it, and I hope I'm working on the final definitive prototype Graculus at the moment.
Brilliant. So how did you get the idea of making the dragons? What inspired you to, you know, did you have a dream, or did it just come to you one day when you're walking down the road?
Well, I was living in a very special place because at the time I was doing some landscaping at the White Spring in Glastonbury, at the foot of the Tor.
Yeah, because you do a lot of landscape gardening as well, don't you?
I do,
Yeah.
and the owner kindly had given me permission to park my truck, which I lived on at that time, for the time needed to create the water garden that I made and the caves.
Wow.
And it has a very special atmosphere, that place, and a number of creative ideas came to me.
All right.
And I visualised a goddess figure, which was Gaia.
Right.
And here is one of them. Well, here's 2 of you.
Okay. Do you want to go and have a look? Did you make them?
I made them.
Oh,
I've made 62 of them, in fact.
Wow.
And they are plant holders.
Yeah.
And they have a wick going through them.
Okay.
So if there's and a cavity in the centre.
Mm.
And they're partly hand carved. I cast them roughly, and then I carve the faces and the hair and the details.
That must take something, yeah.
And I have to work fast because it takes a couple of days in the setting.
Yeah.
And then it's too hard to work it.
Yeah.
And I visualised this, and I visualised dragons.
Right, okay.
And the dragons have taken a lot longer to manifest. Because in a way they're more complex.
Well, they're not fluff. It's funny with dragons, isn't it? Because I was doing a group recently and we were doing a dragon meditation. People wanted to do dragon meditations.
Yes.
But I feel like dragon energy is coming in at the moment. I just feel it's really coming.
It seems to, and there are dragon connections, particularly with Glastonbury, because in the medieval era there was a particular Glastonbury story in connection with St. George.
Right.
And supposedly he was brought up in Coventry by a witch called Calibar.
Okay.
And when he got to be 16, he said he wanted to be a warrior for, was it King Arthur?
Right. Okay.
He certainly wanted to be a warrior, perhaps a little bit before Arthur.
Yeah.
But Calibar said she wouldn't give him any weapons. But if he went to Glastonbury, which was called Inniswitrin at that time,
Oh, right.
he
What
might...
was it called again?
Inniswitrin.
And Glastonbury was called that?
That was the old name. It's still called that in Wales.
Yeah, wow.
Inniswitrin. Innis means an island or spit of land.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Witrin means blue or glass-like.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
So he came to Glastonbury and there was a war going on between the Christian community in Glastonbury and the Christian community in Wales.
Right.
And the Glastonbury community were losing. And St. George said, well, me and my 6 friends will happily help you out, but we don't have any swords.
Yeah.
And they said, that's not a problem. We've got a lot of old swords here. For instance, we've got this one called Merrybar.
Yeah.
And it was the sword that was used in the Garden of Gethsemane to cut off the Roman soldier's ear.
Wow.
And we've had to mend the handle, but otherwise it's completely functioning.
Yeah.
You can have it.
Yeah.
And they also gave him a white horse called Bayard
Yeah.
and a plain shield with nothing on it, made of white leather.
Yeah.
So off he went with his friends and trashed the